How do you feel about blacks?
Blacks are all right.
How do you feel about Jews?
Jews are all right.
How do you feel about women?
Women okay. I have nothing against no one unless they got something against me. You come up and say hi, I say hi. You say I like you, I say well I like you. You say well I don't like you, I say well I don't like you. In other words, however you reflect to me is what I'm going to reflect back to you. I don't care what color you are, where you're from, or what you're doing, what race you are. I am me first, and that is Scotch. I'm from Scotland first. That's me. And I look out for that, number one, me. Just like everybody else does.
Hey, this is Jay Blackfoot with RedDawnPost.com. It is July 14th, 2013, a day after the George Zimmerman verdict, which was on 7/13/2013. Very interesting numerology there. I have no idea what it means. If you do, please comment and fill us in. So it's a day after the Zimmerman verdict. First, let me start by saying I have my doubts that this whole thing was real. This whole thing, I think, may have been an act, theater. This happens, I mean, these things happen every day. I'm sure this isn't the first homeowner association person to shoot and kill somebody. Maybe I should have looked that up. Maybe you should look that up. I mean, maybe you should look into it. There is a guy out there who shows a lot of evidence. I think he showed some stuff on this one, actually. Let me look that up, and I'll get right back with you. Okay. All right, so I looked for it. I couldn't find anything on this one. So let's say it is a real case. Well, first, the last point. I mean, they caught him with one eye closed. You know, the one-eyed symbolism going on here. It had to be an exaggerated wink for a cameraman to catch that, I would think. That would be really hard to catch someone winking at somebody. But, you know, they got the one-eyed symbolism, and you see that all over. It's not like this is one of the few times you see it. You see it all the time and everything. They like to put that eye over the pyramid that's on the dollar bill. And, I mean, they've had that in The Simpsons. They've had that everywhere. So, anyway, that's my thoughts on that. Now, let's get to the facts. If it's a real thing, I mean, here's the first point. There is no white or black, man. Think about it. Think of a white crayon, and then think of a black crayon. Who came up with this white and black thing, this division thing? It wasn't me. It wasn't my family. It wasn't your next door neighbor's family. The families that created these divisions, they live in castles on top of hills. You know, the bankers, the top wealthiest families, top 50, 13 wealthiest families, whatever it is. They ride around in gold carriages and wear gold crowns. The Vatican is part of it as well. And so they created this division, and now one of their tools is the media. These people own the media, the Ted Turners, the whatever his name is. They rub elbows in societies where they hang out with just other wealthy people, politicians, people who make laws, people who can control laws and things like that. And they rub elbows with the bankers. Some of them are select families that are allowed in, probably. Some of them are the bloodline. Bush is the bloodline. All the presidents are the bloodline. Obama, I mean, they showed you on the nightly news. Maybe I should have pulled that up. But you can look it up. Look up nightly news, related presidents or related politicians, and you'll find the picture. Look up in Google Images. So this is what they're trying to do, is divide us. They have a motto that's divide and conquer. That is a motto. They put it in Latin in places on buildings or something. They put it somewhere. Divide and conquer. That is a fact. That is a motto of people of a certain society. Look it up. Divide and conquer. That's what they're doing. They divide us. They create all these things, or over-exaggerate some of these things, and get people on one side or another, like the illusion that there's Republicans and Democrats are both fighting for certain people when they're all fighting for the same person at the top of the pyramid, not us. We are all the slaves. They have to keep one more oppressed than the other so they can keep that hatred and division. And it's not, and we're all the same. It's just pigment. It's not color. It's not a white and black crayon. It's brown. It's tan. It's light brown. It's a variety of beautiful colors from nature, which is called pigment, and it protects you from certain rays in the sun, depending on where your ancestors were, whether they were closer to the equator or further away. The further away you get, the more pale you are, because you need a certain pigment to combat certain rays from the sun in that region, and they're different. So that's, this whole race thing has been created. That's why they create countries and borders. Yet they go to the UN for all their decisions now. You know, so this is what they're doing, divide and conquer. It's a gay, gay, straight, something that doesn't need to be that big a deal. They get people giving their opinion, and with their egos, which have been overexploited, because they don't, in schools, they don't promote right brain type things. They promote ego and left brain type things, like football and competition and that side. But there's another side. There's no balance there. There's no night and day. There's no, everybody can do something artistic or right brain or get out in nature, or they're trying to pull us away from our natural beings. So anyway, with that said, this is how they do it. They do it with pop stars. Beyonce holds moment of silence for Trayvon Martin. I'll leave that link in the description area. You can look through that. I'll leave the other link too with the one-eyed symbolism. And it is the media, and the media is owned by these people who are friends with other people of wealth, billionaires, billions and trillions of dollars. I think Rothschild is worth trillions of dollars. He owns Bank of America. He's a banker. He's the one that charges you 25% interest on your credit card, and then 99 if you're a minute late. But on the other hand, if you don't get something that you're entitled to, there's no payment. Right? Well, here's an example of how the media brainwashes you.
Lights on.
This year,
economic factors may take some.
In consumer news, economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step. The Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take.
Of the campaign can get a little salty.
The final days of the campaign can get a little salty.
The final days of the campaign can get a little salty.
The final days of the campaign can get a little salty.
The final days
can get a little salty.
It would be often. How often does your job call you out of bed in the middle of the night? Well, if you were a doctor, it would be often. And generally, there isn't much time to spare.
So basically what this is a commercial now about how doctors recommend a certain cigarette. They knew damn well cigarettes weren't good for you back then. And this is how they manipulate your brain and get you to try the cigarettes. And then from there, it just passes along from generation to generation. You really don't need the marketing anymore. And they do this to this day. They're poisoning our food. They're putting crap in it that's really no good for you. And in your water and everything else. So we need to get off the system, basically. And this is the whole verdict of the Zimmerman trials, to get off this system, period. The system doesn't work. You know, one guy got shot and one guy got put through this trial and everything. And what if Trayvon Martin had walked home, you know, instead of turning around to confront Zimmerman? Was Zimmerman really looking for him, or just looking for an address to tell the police? I mean, or is it all fake? You know, that incident happened for reasons beyond what the trial. Forget about the trial in black and white. What made that happen? Who created that crime? You know, the media creates the crime. The people at the top create the crime who control the media. So that's that. I just had one really interesting thing I wanted to show you. This is Zimmerman handing his attorney something. His attorney doesn't even look at it. And if this is a real trial, if this is a real thing, many are speculating that it was a cyanide tablet in case he did go to jail. I don't know. You make up your mind. It's really weird how he hands it to him, and both of them pat him on the back after he does it. After they see him do it. I have no idea what it was. You can't see it because of the lower third at the bottom. Breaking news. And watch. He hands him something there. He doesn't even look at it. Pats him on the hand. She pats him. Like, oh yeah, good job. You don't have to do it now. Or, I don't know. That's speculation. You just look at it and decide for yourself. I just thought it was something real interesting. That someone had posted on a forum. So anyway, that's what's going on with the Trayvon Martin verdict. It has nothing to do with what you think it has to do with. It has to do with divide and conquer. We got to realize that, man. This division, this different race thing is, we're all one race, the human race, man. We just have pigments in our skin because nature's like that. Nature is badass, awesome. It does things to adapt to the environment. Like fish so deep in the sea that it's pitch black have lights on the top of their head. And come on, that's intelligence. That's amazing. And we're part of that. We're not part of it. We shouldn't be part of this. This is all created for you, to create division, to keep you. Oh, and that's another thing. Another motto they have is ordo ab chaos, order out of chaos. They create the chaos, then they come in and restore the order and put the stipulations and the laws and the taking of the freedoms and the rights as the solution. So there you go. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter at Red Dawn Post and reddawnpost.com. Take care.